Dr. Jordan Carter, a young black doctor, was known for his quiet compassion, especially with coma patients. But no one understood why he sat so long beside one particular woman, Margaret Astor, a billionaire heiress who had not moved in 9 months. Nurses whispered he was wasting his time, but every evening he sat by her side, whispering words no one could hear. Then one night, as he changed her bandage, she flinched, and what happened after that no one could explain. Dr. Carter visiting her again. Nurse Pauline raised an eyebrow as Jordan gently pulled up a chair next to the unconscious woman. "I am just changing her bandages," he replied calmly. "She has not moved in 9 months. You do more for her than her own family," she scoffed. But Jordan did not respond. His hand was steady as he removed the soft gauze from Margaret's wrist, revealing the pale skin underneath. He glanced down, eyes lingering on an old, faded scar, a mirror of one he had on his own wrist. He hesitated, then leaned closer. "Margaret, I do not know if you can hear me, but thank you." He changed the bandage with precision, but as he pressed the fresh gauze against her skin, something subtle happened, so small he almost missed it. Her finger twitched. Jordan froze. He looked up at her face. Her eyes were still closed, unmoving. No beeping changed on the monitor. But he had seen it. A tiny motion, intentional, maybe reflex. He could not be sure. Still, a ripple of hope passed through him. Flashback. 15 years earlier, a frail boy stood in line at a city shelter holding a slip of paper. His mother had collapsed 2 nights ago. There was no money, no food, no hope. But that week, a mysterious donor had paid off hundreds of children's hospital debts and funded school scholarships. The boy, Jordan, never saw the donor's face, but he remembered the voice from the letter he received. "You are not invisible. Go become someone that saves others." That moment changed his life. Back in the present, Jordan sat quietly by Margaret's side. He glanced at her nameplate on the bed. Margaret Astor, 61, automobile accident. No known visitors. No one had claimed her except a lawyer who paid for the room. But Jordan had a hunch, a strong one. He pulled out a small envelope from his coat pocket, faded, yellowed by time. It was the same letter he had received as a child. He had read it 100 times. The handwriting was elegant and strikingly familiar to Margaret's medical chart signature. Could it be? The next day, he told the head nurse, "I believe the patient is responding." She rolled her eyes. "You believe a billionaire in a coma heard you speak and flinched?" "I saw it. You have been working too hard. Maybe you are just seeing what you want to see." But he was not imagining things, and he could feel it in his bones. Margaret Astor was not just any patient. There was a reason he had been drawn to her, and maybe, just maybe, she had been the reason he became a doctor in the first place. But what Jordan didn't know was this: Margaret's accident may not have been an accident at all, and the people who put her in that coma were still watching. After Margaret's faint twitch, Dr. Jordan Carter becomes convinced she is trying to wake up. But when he brings it up to hospital leadership, they dismiss him. Worse, a mysterious man shows up, claiming to represent the Astor family and demands she be transferred. Jordan refuses to back down. As he digs deeper, he uncovers a devastating truth. Margaret's coma might have been intentional. And the more he uncovers, the more danger he places himself and her in. Jordan couldn't stop thinking about that single twitch. He checked her chart obsessively. No change, no movement since. But something had shifted, and not just in her body, in him. That night, as the hallway quieted and most of the hospital lights dimmed, Jordan sat by Margaret again. "I do not care what they say. I know you are in there." He placed the old envelope, the letter from his childhood, on her nightstand. And then her eyelid flickered. Just once. The next morning, chaos broke his calm routine. A sharply dressed man in a gray suit stood outside Margaret's room. His badge read, "Private Representative, Astor Estate." "I am here to arrange the patient's transfer," he said, barely acknowledging Jordan.
Transfer? To where? Long-term private care facility. Her estate is footing the bill. Orders are already signed. She twitched, Jordan said. Twice. The man raised a brow. She twitched? I believe she is waking up. The man chuckled darkly. Doctor, I am sure you mean well, but this woman is worth nearly $500 million. Keeping her alive on false hope is, expensive. Jordan's stomach tightened. You are not family. You have no right to... I am her legal guardian, the man snapped. As of 9 months ago. Jordan stared at him. The math didn't add up. 9 months ago was exactly when Margaret's accident happened, and when the donations to his childhood hospital abruptly stopped. Jordan raced to the records department. He dug through patient archives, donor files, anything he could legally access. Then he found it. A scanned document showing a large donation made in Margaret Astor's name, dated just 1 day before her car accident. Under purpose, it read, Anonymous Scholarships Children of Color from Underserved Communities. His hands trembled. Back in Margaret's room, the mysterious man stood near her bed. He leaned in close to her ear. You are supposed to stay asleep, Margaret. You promised not to ruin this. Jordan entered the room and froze. What did you just say? The man turned, smiling. Just offering her comfort. But Jordan knew that tone. Cold, measured, controlling. Something was very wrong. That night, Jordan made a choice. He filed an emergency medical hold preventing Margaret's transfer, citing signs of neuroresponsiveness. It bought him 48 hours. In that time, he called in an old friend, Dr. Evelyn Royce, a neurologist who owed him a favor. They ran advanced scans, monitored her eye movement, checked for voluntary responses. And then, it happened. As Jordan held her hand and said, You saved my life, Margaret's fingers squeezed his, deliberately. Evelyn gasped. She heard you, she whispered. But before Jordan could report it, the hospital security alarm blared. Someone had attempted to remove Margaret from her room. Jordan ran to her side just in time to see 2 figures disappearing down a hallway. The letter from his childhood was gone.
Jordan's worst fear comes true. Someone tried to take Margaret while she was unconscious. Her condition is improving, but the man pretending to protect her wants her silenced. When Jordan finally confronts him, a dark family secret is exposed. Margaret is not just a patient, she is the only witness to a crime. And the more awake she becomes, the more desperate her enemies grow. But just when Jordan feels hopeless, Margaret makes a shocking move, right in front of everyone. Jordan stood frozen, staring at the empty space where the letter had been. His only proof, gone. Margaret's monitor beeped steadily. She lay still, but he could feel it. She was fighting to wake up. And now, someone wanted to stop that from happening. Dr. Evelyn Royce returned with security. She's stable, Evelyn said. But if they try again, they won't, Jordan said. I'll make sure of it. He wasn't just a doctor anymore. He was her only defender. Later that day, the man in the gray suit returned. He walked straight into the administrator's office. Jordan followed. I want him removed from the case. He's emotionally involved. Jordan remained calm, but his jaw clenched. I have evidence of response. I filed the motion legally. She's a coma patient, barely clinging to life. Why waste money and time? Jordan turned to the administrator. Ask him why her family never visits. Ask why he was alone in her room whispering to her. Silence. The administrator looked uneasy. Let's schedule a review. Until then, no one moves her, and Dr. Carter stays. The man's smile faded. That evening, Jordan sat with Margaret again. He whispered, They're scared of you, Margaret. What do you know? He took her hand gently in his. Then, her eyelids fluttered. Once. Twice. Her mouth trembled. A nurse rushed in. She's trying to speak. But her voice was weak, barely audible. Jordan leaned in. And finally, she whispered, He's my nephew. He did this to me. Jordan's eyes widened. Flashback. 9 months ago,
a quiet estate. Margaret sits across from her nephew, Daniel Astor, the same man in the gray suit. He pours her tea. "You should rest, maybe take a long vacation. Sign the business over." Margaret laughs. "You always wanted my money, but I'm not finished yet." Daniel frowns. Later that night, Margaret's car runs off the road. Brakes fail. No skid marks. She is found unconscious. No witnesses. Until now. Back in the hospital room, Jordan grabs his phone. "You're safe now, Margaret. You just told the truth." But before he can call the authorities, Daniel storms in. "She can't speak clearly. She's confused, delirious." "She said your name," Jordan replies calmly. "And this time, I'm recording everything." Daniel's face turns pale. Suddenly, Margaret's voice grows stronger. "You tried to kill me." Her eyes lock onto Daniel's for the first time in 9 months, and the entire room goes silent. Dr. Evelyn enters with 2 security officers. "She's speaking, she's conscious. Your guardianship is no longer valid," Evelyn said coldly. Daniel turns to run, but it's too late. Security blocks the door. Margaret's hand reaches for Jordan's. "You were the boy from the clinic." Jordan's throat tightens. "Yes, you saved my life, and now I'm returning the favor." But Margaret's condition is fragile. Daniel may be gone for now, but not everyone who wanted her silenced is. As she drifts back to rest, Jordan knows he has to act fast, because someone else is watching, and they are not finished yet. Margaret is awake, and the truth is finally out. Her nephew tried to take her fortune and silence her forever. But as police get involved, Jordan realized Daniel was only part of a much bigger plan. Margaret must face her company's corrupt board, her broken legacy, and a public still unaware of what really happened. But with Jordan by her side, she not only finds justice, she creates a future that will change thousands of lives, including the very boy she once saved. The news spread through the hospital like wildfire. Billionaire heiress awakens from 9-month coma, accuses nephew of foul play. Margaret's voice was still soft, but her memory was crystal clear. Jordan remained beside her as detectives arrived. She told them everything. How Daniel had pressured her to sign over power of attorney, how he had manipulated her staff, and how her car accident was no accident at all. The letter Jordan kept, the one she had written to a desperate boy years ago, became the final piece of truth. Her voice trembled as she spoke. "I wrote those words when I thought I had nothing left to give, but kindness, it always finds its way back." Daniel was arrested, charged with attempted murder, fraud, and conspiracy. But Jordan soon discovered he was not acting alone. 2 board members from the Astor Foundation were also removed, having colluded with Daniel to seize control of Margaret's assets. As she recovered in her private suite, Margaret made her first public statement in nearly a year, and she asked Jordan to stand beside her. Cameras flashed. "I am alive today because one doctor refused to see me as a lost cause. He believed in me when no one else did. And what he did reminded me why I once believed in him." She turned to Jordan. "This young man was once a boy I never thought I would meet again. He helped me become a doctor, and now he's helped me become whole again." Margaret didn't just recover. She returned stronger than ever, and with a plan. Together, she and Jordan founded the Astor Carter Foundation, a hospital wing devoted to underserved communities, trauma recovery, and education for aspiring doctors from underprivileged backgrounds. Jordan became chief of medical outreach, but more than that, he became family. In the final scene, Margaret stood at the ribbon-cutting ceremony of the new hospital wing. She placed the old letter in a glass frame beside the entrance. Above it, the words were etched in gold. "You are not invisible. Go become someone that saves others." As she smiled at Jordan, tears welled in her eyes. "What you whispered to me in that room, it brought me back." Jordan smiled. It was never just a whisper. It was a promise. Moral of the story: kindness planted in secret may bloom in the darkest hour, and those the world forgets are often the ones who rise to heal it.